Alright, gang, we're going to start section 2.3 here, which has to do with polynomial and synthetic division. This is something that we're going to have to do in the future in order to figure out what the zeros of our polynomial functions are. So the objectives would be to learn how to divide polynomials using long division. That's what we're going to do on this first video. Then we're going to learn how to divide a polynomial by a binomial using synthetic division. That's going to be our second video. We're going to use the remainder theorem to determine the value of a polynomial. That'll be on video 3 for this section. Tied closely to that is to be able to express a polynomial in factored form. And then lastly, use conjugate pairs to help factor polynomials with radical zeros. So we're going to do division with radicals in the last video in this section. So before we go to how to long divide polynomials, let's just take a step back in the memory lane when you were in about 4th grade, 5th grade, and you had to learn how to do long division. Remember these things? Alright, and I just want to use these simple examples to get your mind back in the groove on how we go through these things. So let's look at that first one. Okay, the process goes like this. Does 9 go into 3? It doesn't. So now go to 34. Does 9 go into 34? Yes, it does 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. Subtract them. Drop the 2 down. And then ask if 9 goes into 72. It does 8 times with no remainder. Alright, so our final answer for 342 divided by 9 is just 38. And in this particular case, 0 is our remainder. Alright, so hopefully you remember doing stuff like that. Let's do another one real quick. 435 divided by 8. Does 8 go into 4? No. Alright, does it go into 43? It does. How many times? 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract. Drop the 5. Does 8 go into 35? Yes, it does. 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32. Subtract. So in this particular case, our answer is 54, but we do have a remainder of 3. Okay, so now that we've reviewed long division, we're going to use that with polynomials. And the process is exactly the same. You look at the term and decide whether or not it goes into another term. Okay. So let's say that we have to divide 6x cubed minus 19x squared plus 16x minus 4. Divide that all by x minus 2. Alright, when determining what to multiply by, look only at the first term of both the divisor and the dividend. Okay, we want to know what do we multiply x by to get 6x to the third. All right, I have to multiply x times 6x squared in order to get 6x cubed. And when I multiply x minus 2, okay, this whole thing by 6x squared, I'm going to get 6x cubed minus 12x squared. All right, just like the last section, or not last section, the practice problems that we were doing with long division, subtract these. And be careful with your signs on this. One messed up sign screws the whole problem up. All right, and now we ask ourselves, what are we going to multiply x by to get negative 7x squared? Okay, we would multiply x times negative 7x to get negative 7x squared plus 14x. Subtract. Drop the negative 4. What do we multiply x by to get 2x? Multiply by 2. And we get 2x minus 4. Subtract 0, which is good news because then we don't have a remainder. All right, 6x squared minus 7x plus 2 is our answer. 0 in this case is our remainder. Ready for another one? All right, 5x squared minus 17x minus 12 divided by x minus 4. Why don't you try this one on your own? Pause the video and give it a try. All right, what do we multiply x by to get 5x squared? We multiply by 5x. What do we get? 5x squared minus 20x. Subtract them. You get 3x. What do we multiply x by to get 3x? Multiply by 3. And we get 3x minus 12. Subtract them. Once again, we have a remainder of 0. 5x plus 3 is our answer. 0 is our remainder. Okay, you're going to try another one, but before you do, I have to give you a word of advice on it. X to the 4th minus 1 over x plus 1. My word of advice is plug zeros in for missing powers of x. All right, so this is going to be x to the 4th plus 0x to the 3rd plus 0x squared plus 0x. It's going to save a lot of confusion, okay, to include those missing terms right there. And ask yourself, what do you multiply x by to get x to the 4th? Multiply by x to the 3rd. And you get x to the 4th plus x to the 3rd. Subtract them. Drop the 0x squared. What do you multiply x by to get negative 1x cubed? Negative 1x squared. And you get negative x cubed minus x squared. Subtract them. Drop the 0x. What do you multiply x by to get x squared? You multiply by x to get x squared plus x. Subtract them. Drop the 1, negative 1. Now you multiply by a negative 1 to get negative x minus 1, and lo and behold, our coveted remainder of 0. Answer, X cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1, remainder 0. All right. Now I'm going to have you try this last one here. Pause the video and give this one a try. All right, sets up like that. We multiply by 6x squared. Subtract. Bring the 9x down. We multiply by negative 7x. Subtract. Bring the 3 down. We multiply by a 12. Subtract. And now if you look, we can't multiply x squared times anything to get just an x. So that minus 10x plus 9, that's our remainder. Now the way we have to write a remainder, we're not just going to put an r and then the rest of it. You write a remainder like this. Beginning of the problem, this is our full answer, plus the remainder over what we divided by in the first place. All right, so that is all you need to know about long division of polynomials.